Artificial intelligence, it brings about both fascination and fear, but no doubt about it, AI will change the world. In fact, it's already doing that. So with me is Michelle Boockoff-Bajdek, the Chief Marketing Officer at IBM Watson.
Yes.
And also Rachel Cordrey, the Pharmacy Supervisor at Peninsula Regional Medical Center. So great to have you here.
Thank you.
Michelle, let's start with you. So what's happening in AI right now, artificial intelligence?
Well, you know, it's interesting because AI is a fundamental and fast-growing technology that is really poised to change the way that people work, and we can talk a little bit about that, how businesses operate, and frankly, how entire industries transform. We're at a critical juncture. AI last year contributed $2 trillion in US dollars to the global economy. By 2030, AI-related technologies will contribute $16 trillion. So we're really at a critical inflection point.
Absolutely fascinating, the applications that can be done with this. So, and Rachel, you're in the healthcare field, so that's one of the areas that AI is having the most impact, right? So how are you using it, and how might the consumer see a difference?
MicroMedX is a drug information database, so when patients come into the hospital, they often have complex medication regimens, and we further add to that complexity when we're treating them. So oftentimes providers will need to look up medication information, pharmacists will need to look at medication adjustments, nurses will need to look at which medications can be run together into the same line, what we call the Y site. So we use that drug information database to help take care of patients. So what AI is helping us do is get to that information faster so we can spend more time with our patients.
Okay. So when we look at AI, it's about three things. It's about predictions, right? So what's going to happen? Companies often want to forecast. So we do see some companies that are using it for predictive capabilities, but it's also about automation. How can I take manual processes out of that process? How do I start to automate things that perhaps allow people to do higher order value work, right? And then optimization. So if I can take a complex mortgage process and reduce the time it takes from hours or days to potentially minutes, I've really optimized that process and I've changed the way we do business. So prediction, automation, optimization, and companies are really focusing on different parts of that equation.
Now, one thing I hear a lot when we talk about AI is all the jobs are going to be lost. But those people you're telling me will do more high value things and kind of the, you know, routine.
That's exactly how I feel. Yeah. So from using AI, we actually took the Watson Assistant and incorporated it into our electronic medical record system. So now we no longer even have to leave the patient's chart to look up information, right? So that definitely did not take anybody's job away. It gave us more time to spend doing other things like taking care of our patients, answering questions for them, more hands-on time to be with the patient. So I definitely don't see it, at least in healthcare, as taking away anyone's job. I just see it helping us take care of patients more efficiently.
Doing more of the human
I think
stuff.
that's right. I think that's right. So look, we believe that AI will transform how people work and thus change the nature of the jobs we have. But what we're seeing is that new jobs are emerging. So imagine that people who are customer service representatives might now have new jobs as conversational designers and conversational analysts, helping to train the machines that are doing some of that manual work, right? That are helping to train the digital agents that are then communicating with consumers, because consumers now expect faster response, right? They want first-time problem resolution. They want 24/7 access. And so when you are in a space where, whether you're a bank or an insurance company or anyone who is dealing with customers and they're looking for that quick access, a virtual agent's a great opportunity to do that. You still have to have people training the system, people who understand the intents behind the questions that the consumers are going to ask.
Now, since you're in healthcare, now I know like big data is the new oil, as some people say, and you know, it's one thing to know where we're shopping if we're buying rain boots and things like that, but healthcare is totally different. So how do you know that this system is secure?
For us, we're using a Watson Assistant within a database that it only uses evidence-based medicine, and it's only within that database. Watson isn't going outside of that database to pull in information for like an expert's opinion or anything from outside of what is maintained by IBM. So we feel confident that the data there is secured.
So where do you see this going then? What kind of things can we look at on the horizon?
You know, it's fascinating because I think what you will see is that as AI begins to solve more problems, and right now what we're seeing, we just held an event where we honored 40 women in AI who are pioneering the use of the technology in their organizations, and there are a couple of things that I think are really interesting. A lot of times they were solving a very specific problem within that organization. So they wanted to improve customer service, they wanted to reduce operational efficiencies, they wanted to truly transform a 300-year-old bank. I think we're going to see AI injected even more into organizations and into different departments. So right now we see a lot of focus on the customer service area, but you can also see, and we have some examples of where customers are using it to detect fraud, or in the cases of HR where we want to spot, hire and retain talent, or in the areas of IT where we can drive greater efficiency and automation. So I think what you're going to see is the technology becoming far more pervasive.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Michelle and
you.
Rachel, for
Thank
coming and
you.
sharing these thoughts. So it was a really interesting discussion. And thank you as well for joining us. We'll be right back.